All right, I'm here. Just a minute or two late. Tomorrow is my daughter's birthday, and I will not be here because tomorrow I'll leave for Baltimore for this communications conference that starts Saturday, goes through Wednesday. Then Wednesday starts the Motorola conference in Baltimore. They right after each other that I'll be at through Friday. So she wanted to go see the new Fantastic Four movie, and that's where we're just coming back from. Actually, she met my wife out. She took her out to eat, but I had to come here to do y'all's live. So welcome everybody to another live. We got to take one moment of silence for the Hulkster. Very sudden news. Grew up watching wrestling. I've referred to it many, many times growing up. And what can you say? Kid soap operas. So life's short. Hug your loved ones. You never know when's the last time. 72 years old. I just had a birthday. And what was he? 72 years old. Cardiac arrest. You know, he's had a rough life. Let's all be honest here. But you know, we lost Theo Huxtable. For those who used to watch the Cosby Show when we were kids, lost Ozzy Osbourne. It's been a rough couple of days for us Gen X people, or boomers, whatever. I hate that word. So, yeah, it's been a rough couple of days. They say it comes in threes, but it's actually been more than that. Somebody else passed away too. I feel bad if I don't recognize who it is, but I don't know. I just got in also my sweet potato. I have lost not one, but two devices over the last week or so with all this rain that we've gotten. We had a tropical system that came through last week. That wasn't that bad, but we had two storms come through since then, in between a drought almost. Not where I live at. I haven't had hardly any rain, but just 5 or 6, 7, 10 miles up the next parish. No, we have parishes here, not counties. Next parish over, they had flooding and some horrible lightning storms. I lost my number one. If you saw that me discussing the video, I lost my number one sense cap for helium that was on my friend's 400-foot tower. My number one money-making helium device on top of 400-foot tower. It was getting it got too many signals. You know, at some point helium passed a rule that you can only get so many signals from so many, so much distance. I was getting signals from that tower into New Orleans. That's the distance it was getting. The tower took a lightning strike last week, for those who follow along my other videos, and the helium sense cap that was about 4 years old. We got it in 2021, I think, when sense cap first came out with devices, and it bit the bullet. The pie inside, I've even taken the helium hat off, tried powering on the pie itself, different SD cards, everything, used different power options, completely unresponsive. I also lost another Wingbits device at a host location. They had a very, very close lightning strike. The device is outside, and I lost a little potato. So I'm getting a sweet potato together now, and to eventually replace that. It won't be before I leave on my flight tomorrow for Baltimore, but it's either way going to get it back online. So get that started. So there's always a lot of stuff going on. So thank y'all for attending. I hope everybody's having a good week. I don't know what's really going on in crypto right now. Nobody's really talking about anything, but I know I'll say that same joke every week. Let's see. Studio mode. So some of the big news, probably the biggest news, Entropy NFTs. That's all we've been dealing with, really. People trying to onboard their new devices in the EU. They're confused as hell. They put an announcement out yesterday to don't plug them in, unplug them. Then they do another one that says do not unplug them, leave them plugged in. And if it's kind of like that if you ever saw that video they got on social media where it says, the girl unplugs it and it says do not unplug it. So then she unplugs it and says, if you did plug it in, don't unplug it. And then she'll know what the hell to do. This is kind of what's going on with Entropy right now. They're having some issues onboarding the sheer number of EU devices that got sent out. And I did a video on Entropy and all their NFTs and stuff that went out. I'm going to tell y'all, if y'all haven't seen me crying on the Discord, me crying on my Discord, me crying on X, or me crying in the video I created, I screwed up. Look, I'm old. I don't understand the whole NFT game. I understand what an NFT is. Don't get me wrong. Don't go unsubscribe. But I didn't understand the whole NFT game with Entropy. And I wish I would have listened to the professor and them and bought way more NFTs. You know, I sat there and I'm just going to buy 2 or 3 extra to try to sell. I guess if I would have known this, I would have bought more. And then you got D. Vaselino, who bought like 20 extra. Now he looks like Einstein. When I sat there and thought, like, what the hell is he thinking? Because eventually, from what I understand, Entropy is selling a couple of extra they had left over that they get purchased, but eventually Entropy will not be selling NFTs. They're going to have to sell. If anybody wants to get in this project, they're going to have to get NFTs from us. And that's one thing I didn't really like. I heard that announcement back when we were doing this a couple of months back, but I didn't realize how quick that was going to occur. Nor did I realize the price that these things were going for. Why is it not working? See, this is crazy because that just shows you how much this has changed in 24 hours. Yesterday, the instant sell was at 0.09 when I did my video. Now it's at 1.19 for instant sell. I went ahead, if y'all saw my video, I went ahead and split up my NFTs to my 3 Ashlers. I'm still waiting on my other Ashler to come in. But you look at now, this cheapest one's going here. But if you want this combination, and this is nothing I didn't really think about. If you want this combination right here for the 2X, you have to buy a snake. And I'm like, wait a minute, snakes are only 0.9X, but they're also the least amount of NFTs, which means there's only 11 or 1,000 snakes. That means if you have a snake, it's rare by itself. And again, I didn't put all that together. I didn't know. I almost want to like, hey, can we please just buy 5 more NFTs without Entropy, please? I wish that they would allow that to open back up, but so my thing about this is when you go and try to find the first, now I might make me look like a fool, but when I was looking at work earlier, to get that 2X combination, the first snake earlier was 2.5 Solana. I don't even see a snake right now. If I see a snake, somebody yell loud. Dang. Here's the first snake. 5.6 Solana. But the thing is, if you only drew whales and apes, you have to get a snake if you want 10x rewards. So this is the first snake. No, I'm sorry, here's a snake right here. 4.8. 4.9. 4.9 Solana. 4.9 Solana. Jesus Christ. Let's see. 4.9 Solana. I don't know if y'all heard me. $890. Man, I'm so sick to my stomach. I do have a snake I can sell. I just don't know what I want. I don't know what. I have a snake and I have an extremely rare ape. Not ape, whale. Is the chat working? Like, I don't see nobody talking on chat. I want to make sure everybody's here. Is anybody, are people having problems with the chat or anything like that? Can somebody say, hey, what's up? I saw B13 said, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. And the entropy. Live chat. All of them Israel. Let me see. I don't see nobody DMing me, so I'm here, but it seems like I'm the only one. I got, I hate to mispronounce people's names. It's rude. Is it Georgie, Jorge? I know you've been very active. Me and you've been chit-chatting offline a lot. Welcome. All right, so we good. We got 11 people here. Make sure 11 people hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. But yeah, so Entropy, I know a lot of y'all are in Entropy. I think it's a very exciting time. They did announce, I think, was it July 28th is when you have to have the NFTs attached. I think that is a little earlier. I think somebody mentioned that earlier in my Discord about Entropy. Who fought it? 28 when the whales earned 1.3%. Bob said, given the EU issues, it would not be surprised. But yeah, I think the 28th is it's only 4 days. Don't worry, when all those listen, this is me just talking, spitting crap out of my mouth. I might not know what the hell I'm talking about. But I can feel on the 28th or 29th when these things become mandatory, we're about to watch our rewards go up. Because not everybody's going to have time, or people who are mining and don't realize what's going on. I got one buddy who, I don't want to say his name because I don't want to embarrass him, but he don't really catch my lives anyway. He's still getting off of work until we play Call of Duty at night. But he insisted on using some goofy wallet for this project. Well, because I was walking him through it when we were playing Call of Duty one night months ago. I know for a fact he did an NFT placeholder. When he goes into the wallet now, there's no NFT placeholder no more. Because I remember discussing what the placeholder looked like when he got it in his wallet. That's how I know. And he has other NFTs in that wallet, whatever that wallet is. And he does not have a NFT yet. He also burns a hell of a lot of tokens because he doesn't go to the project once a week, at least. He goes at least probably almost 10 to 12, 14 days without claiming. So he's burning a lot of tokens. From the good thing, he's never selling either. But my point is, you have people like that who don't touch this project every day. On the 28th, when NFTs are mandatory, that means the 29th, you should start seeing rewards go up. I'm kind of curious to see what happens with Demo over the next Monday. Because you're supposedly, from what they're claiming, you're supposed to have all these online accounts that the only thing that's attached is the online account. There's no demo, and they're killing all those accounts other than for the Teslas. But you're supposed to have all these accounts, these 100,000 accounts, whatever it is, that's supposed to be getting canceled out. All those rewards should be getting split to us. I'm going to sit here and we'll sit here and wait and see. We'll sit here and wait and see. Somebody asked me about Silencio. I cannot explain to you how torn I am on Silencio. If anybody saw my grumpy response earlier, somebody was trying to publicly proclaim how great Peak and Silencio were on X, and you had 15 cheerleaders come behind them saying, yeah, Silencio is the greatest thing. It's solving all these world peace problems and stuff. And Grumpy I couldn't let that stand. And I had to sit there and say my piece about this is basically a project that looks cheap, forcing us to watch these goofy ads of King Henry getting stuck on the toilet and wanting us to do subscriptions and stuff like that. I can't stand the raffle tickets. It's completely unfair. But I know when I go to Baltimore, I'm going to want to see if I can find venues that haven't been hit yet. But there's a part of me, I have not ran Silencio, but maybe once or twice at the beginning of this month. And then when I realized I had to do ads, I'm like, screw this. I have not done Silencio all month. And I have 700,000 plus raffle tickets because of the amount I'm staking over 1 million something tokens. There's a part of me, I don't want to run it all month, strictly living off the staking. And I want to see how many Silencio I'll get compared to when I was running it the month before. So I'm probably not going to go to Baltimore and run, be honest with you. I'm curious to see. Grumpy, have you updated the Silencio app? Do you now have the passive? I haven't. And again, I don't want to run anything because I want to see at the end of the month, I want to see how much Silencio somebody can make strictly by staking 1 million tokens. Kyle, you're trying to kick me in my testicles, brother. Don't kick me in my testicles anymore. I just said that when I first started the show. I am besides my, I have pleaded on, you know, I'm surprised the professor hasn't blocked me on Discord yet because I keep crying to him that I cannot believe I didn't explain. Like, dude, you should have forced me to buy more NFTs. He kept telling me, buy as many as you're allowed to buy. This was the first time. I can't remember. When did we buy the first pre-mint? For some reason, I thought that was hunting season, which would have been just January. But when I look back, I think it was like March. I don't know why I'm thinking it was thing. But when was the first pre-mint? Because he told me, buy as many as you can. And I'm like, why would I want to go burn through all my entropy? And he was like, trust me, man. We ain't gonna steer you wrong. Do it. And I didn't do it. I had 3 ESPs, and at the time I bought 3 NFTs. Then I bought 3 more NFTs because I knew I was going to buy Ashlers. So I bought 3 more. So I had 6. Then last month when we had the pre-mint, I bought 3 more because I'm like, maybe I can sell those 3. That's a way of me getting some entropy back. You know, being able to sell the entropy without getting in trouble. But now it's too late. Like I didn't buy more. And I'm like, yeah, I'm holding on to all this entropy. I got millions and millions and millions, $2,000 worth of entropy. And I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? Like, I should have just, if I knew what I knew now, but I guess hindsight. But then it just feels bad. I feel disgusted because I've missed that opportunity. You're not going to have, I don't think you're going to have that opportunity again. He mentioned something about they have more plans coming in the future. Maybe when Entropy B rolls out, I don't know. I don't know. So, Kyle, if you look at my video that I did yesterday about the Ashlers, they do talk about where you can buy. Well, you buy that. I've been looking at Magic Eden. Magic Eden looks a little cleaner of a website. Let me pull it up for you. So this is Magic Eden. To me, it's a cleaner looking website. But again, when you go back and you look at what all these different combinations are, I just had it right in front of me. You look at what these combinations are. Let me blow it up for you some more. Depending on what combination you have, it's what your multiplier is. If in one wallet you have a Ashler running and you keep 5 whales in there, you get a 1.8x. Well, there's way more whales than there are apes. There's more apes than there are snakes. There's only 1,000 snakes, 1,100 snakes out there. So if you happen to get the trifecta, kind of like Yahtzee or something, if you get a whale, an ape, and a snake, that means you're a chair, and you get 2x. Well, if you didn't get dealt yesterday in the pre-mint, if you didn't get a snake and you want 2x rewards, well, now you have to go find a snake. Well, there's a lot less snakes out there, which means you have to come on here and go hunt. You got to go snake hunting like we do in Louisiana sometimes. And you go snake hunting. And again, the cheapest snake we could find is 2.4 Solana. If you want that combination, 2.4 Solana is a hefty chunk of change. $2.4 Solana is $437. We saw some. This snake must have just popped up. I didn't see the snake earlier. But then once you get past that snake, the next snake wasn't till like 4 point something. Unless I skip past it. It's an ape. It's an ape. The next snake's at 4.9. They've had 65 of these things sold for a total volume of 242. But as you can see, there's not a lot of snakes on here. You know. Now, I think it was Just Farted, I believe it was, who said, who was it? Somebody said, I want to take credit from other people, but by the time you start looking at it, you're almost cheaper to buy another Ashler at just an NFT, depending on how you feel about it. So, Kyle, I want to look up for you. Let me see if I can buzz through these announcements real quick. There was a place somewhere. All right here. So, Kyle, this is for you, buddy. Where to buy. This is in the announcement section of Entropy. And it says, the Entropy Acolyte Collection consists of 5,000 whales, 3,000 apes, 1,100 snakes, and 9 grails. If you get a grail, you hit. But you may verify an Acolyte by checking the collection ID, and it has to be this ID, and the real NFTs all start with an EA. But you can go to either Magic Eden or Tensor. Like I said, I've seen some people say Tensor is easier. Here's the Tensor one. I do find Tensor has a better price. But a lot of these same NFTs are on both sites. So I don't know how that works. Again, I'm not an NFT expert. Let's see. So see that same snakes right here for 2.46. Now look, there's one that just got minted for, or just got listed for 2.69. That wasn't here earlier. At least I didn't see it. But that is the hot news. On the record, I have not heard anything about when entropies are going to be dropping. I don't even remember what date we were originally promised. Somebody's asking about when's the next drop of Ashlers, because all 3 drops from Ashlers have been sold out. I'm curious if you're going to see Ashlers being sold anywhere else. Hint, hint. At some point, instead of just being strictly helium deploy. I don't know. Somebody asked me that. Somebody said that. I have not heard anything about that, but we'll see. We'll see if the project does something different. Since helium deploys taking every bit of a minute to ship out this second and third batch, but maybe they haven't got them in yet. Excuse me. I don't know. That's my popcorn from the movie theater. For those who missed it, who weren't here for the first couple of minutes, I started a minute too late because my daughter's birthday is coming up this weekend. I won't be here because I'll be in Baltimore for communications. It's a big, gigantic communications conference called APCO, APCO. And it's kind of like the Super Bowl of communications. You're going to have people there, dispatchers and RF people from around the world who are going to converge on this. They had this conference in Baltimore years ago. We went there about 5 years ago. People were getting mugged and robbed and stuff. I'm assuming that Baltimore must have made them some kind of great deal to come back. And, but it's going to be a huge communications conference. And then that ends Wednesday, and Motorola conference starts Wednesday, and we'll go there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and, get some updates on new toys and play with some new toys that are coming out, new repeaters that Motorola's coming out with and that kind of stuff like that. But since I missed her, I will be missing her birthday this weekend. We went and saw the new Fantastic Four movie this evening. If I'm gonna tell you, if you like the Fantastic Four as a kid and the comic book version, I think you're gonna be extremely happy. If you did not like the first or the second Fantastic Four movie that came out, I think you're gonna like this one. If you really, really liked the first one or the second one, you're not gonna like this one. This one is more comic book accurate. My daughter had explained some things to me, and it's gonna lead into some other, stuff like that. But I don't know about the casting of it, but it was different. I didn't care for the first and second one too much, so I kind of like this one. But I will say today's the first day it was out, and there was about 8 people in the movie theater with us. So we'll see. Milkman. I saw Milkman. Congratulations to Milkman. I saw Milkman. Milkman got approved yesterday. Welcome to the mayhem. Milkman, M.H. Mahan, if I'm pronouncing that right, and Jamba Juice got their holes deemed worthy. Congratulations. Welcome to the chaos. Welcome to the Terror Dome, as they used to say. I know I just really aged myself. But hey, I'm high-fiving you and calling you out and high-fiving you because I really thought the days of getting holes approved would be very slim to none, because now it's just easy to get the NFT. The NFT brings in money. I just thought they wouldn't be deeming holes worthy anymore, or they'd be a lot more strict in deeming holes. So congratulations to the Milkman. Welcome to the chaos. Milkman, are you using for this entry, are you using an ESP32 for this, or are you using a Ashler? I'm curious. 5-time tries. Oh, so that's approved for the ESP miner. I just didn't know if it was a cred to mine no matter what you wanted to use, ESP or a Ashler. I didn't know how that worked. I didn't know if you got approved if you were allowed to use an Ashler for this. That's one thing I'm not that familiar with. I will say, I had to redo my ESP32 device for junk coin because for some reason it just, even though it's connected to my network, I couldn't see it on the junk network. I had to redo that one. But y'all know Mr. Glenn. He's the real elderly guy that we all try to help in Mississippi. He got hacked. We finally got a new cred for him from Entropy, and several of people have been trying to help him get it back online, and for some reason it does not want to connect to his Wi-Fi. So that's why I'm curious to see if something's changed in the installation of ESP. I remember when we were doing ESP32s, you had to put the cred or whatever you want to call it, the API or the script onto the ESP32. But then you had to download the Smart Connect app on your phone while you were on the Wi-Fi you intended to put it on, the 2.4 Wi-Fi, and then that kind of linked together. And I don't know if there's a disconnect there, but I haven't really had time to really sit back and help them. How long does it take for the file to be created? Milkman, I'm going to tell you, be patient, brother. These guys, talking to a couple of them behind the scenes, they are running ragged right now. Between minting these NFTs in addition to dealing with the problem with the EU Ashlers coming online, I would tell you just, hey, you approved, congratulations. Make sure you do your tickets on the bottom like you're supposed to. Make sure you do your form. Then make sure you do your ticket that you did the form, and then just sit in your chair and be patient. I wouldn't rush them. Please don't go rush them. Please don't go rush them. So, I don't know what else is going on with anything else. I still want Wingbits to pass my proposal. They won't even put it up for a vote, but I want a proposal for Wingbits that says anytime somebody asks when mainnet, they lose 100 wings. I don't. I think it's BS. You know, that people can just come in there and just keep asking a stupid question. They've already announced when mainnet is. They announced it already in one of the AMAs a while back. And I even talked about it in the video. They talked about the last week of August, first week of September, most likely the first week of September. They already got some contracts worked out. They've already told the investors that's when it was going to be. So I'm thinking it's going to be that first week of September. Same time we're doing fantasy football drafts all over the place. So what else we talking about? Anything else going on? Combinder. Somebody asked me about Combinder. I'm doing very well in Combinder. I have 4 plugs right now, waiting for a 5th one to come in. I'm up to 4,100. Y'all can't probably see that. I don't have that screen on. Shrink it down. I had the other one zoomed in so y'all could see it. This is why you love live. 4,100 bind. Rewards by Quest. Thank y'all for the people who joined. What I'm finding is this must be a combination, because I have not been on this project 46 days. So with me having 4 devices, you know, if you have 4 devices online for one day, that's 4 days. So it has to be combining. So after I did enough that I got 30 days, I was able to get, you know, one of these. When I got 3 devices, I got this one. So, you know, I've got my badges and stuff like that. But again, Combinder is a very, very, very new project. There's no tokenomics there. I needed smart plugs for a couple of things. You can go buy yourself a $22 smart plug from Amazon, join the Combinder project for free, and you take a chance. Take a chance. Take a chance. It could be nothing. I do think that, you know me, I have to critic something, or people could think I had an aneurysm or something. I do think that between the quest and the actual device rewards are just a tad lopsided. Just from my quest, I've gotten 4,000 tokens. If I only had one device, it would take me 4,000 days to get that same thing. So for a project that's supposed to be so worried about the plugs, the quests are very highly rewarded. Now, again, quests are going to change. So these quests might be this much right now, strictly to get people started. And he actually talked about that somewhere. Part of their tokenomics, or part of their plan, and from the fundraisers and stuff like that, did is more rewards in the beginning so that they can get more people online. So eventually I'm assuming that these are going to change, but there's 9,000 users already. They're giving out 39,000 rewards, 784 plugs. I'm guessing that's what that is. It seems to be a cool project. I'm hoping to get into Discord soon. I've told them they can let everybody know to come in my Discord. We have Combinder channel in my Discord. I only got 11 people watching right now. I'm assuming most of y'all are in my Discord already. If not, there's a link. I'm assuming the read wing will do a force that you saw us in the level a while back. I have not read that, but I'm gonna tell you. My thoughts are on auto signal. The original auto signal for Wingbits was trash. At some point, that was updated. supposed to be a lot better now. For me, who's trying to maximize range, I'm not using auto gain. For people who don't know how gain works and how to read that kind of stuff, auto gain is your best friend. There's, and I hate to call people out, I'm not going to say his name, but there's somebody just now in the Wingbits who says, hey, should I put my gain on auto or 3 dBi? Well, brother, if you put it on 3 dBi, that plane is going to have to be about 100 feet over your house to catch it. So some people are confusing that with, I guess, with antenna. First of all, you need to be using 5.5 dBi antenna. We've proven that many, many times. What's his name? Just got in the top 1% of stations when he went and swapped out his antenna for Daniel in Africa. Went and swapped out his antenna for the one I've been suggesting to everybody. And now he's in the top 1% of stations. So congratulations to him. But if you're that confused with gain and you don't know what it means, please leave it on auto, because you're just going to hurt yourself and you're going to hurt the project overall. You know, if you don't have a lot of airports, if you're not around airports, you want to maximize that gain. You want the most distance you can get. Me, some of my stations, like where my buddy's tower is, that's literally under the flight path of New Orleans International Airport. So if I put it on auto gain, every time there's an airplane taking off or taking off this way, I hope we're not going this direction tomorrow, or landing, that gain's getting dropped dramatically because of how strong that signal is. I start losing hexes farther out. If y'all know, that tower at one time got 160 or 150 hexes, 500 miles out. And I don't use auto gain. But I played with them, and depending on where those stations are, or when I'm setting up host stations, like one of my hosts is nowhere near a big airport. It's a DIY station. His gain is maxed out, and he's only getting 4 to 5% strong messages, and that's what you should be getting. When you look at those graphs, you have to be able to look at graph. If you don't know how to read those graphs on the graphs 1090 page, put it on auto gain. It's going to get you very, very close. And especially now with the way they're doing these rewards, it's probably not going to make hardly any difference. Keep the auto gain rolling. Link to combiner plugs. 5.5 antenna. I don't know if I can add it. Milkman, if you want to check a little bit after this video's over with, I'll go ahead. I'll add both of those links to the to this description of this video. The only thing with adding a 5.5, well, if you're doing a DIY station, 5.5 is going to be great. The only thing you have to watch out for is the length of your feed line. If you're doing under 10 feet length, you can get away with almost about anything. If you're going over 10 feet, you need to use LMR 400, or Amazon has this KML 400 line that's basically just imitation LMR. If you're starting to get over, like, say 30 plus 40 feet, you need to look at PoE options and putting the station up higher, because the feed line loss is going to kill you. The only reason the 400-foot tower is working for me is we're using like an inch and a half feed line. That's right. The feed line that goes from my DIY station to my buddy's tower up to 400 foot to the antenna mast is literally about this big. It's crazy. Not DIY. So if it's not DIY and it's a WB200 or MGW310, you are going to need an adapter that's going to go from that TNC connector on the top of the WB200 or 310, whatever one you're getting, to the 5.5, which is a I know I have antenna in here somewhere. I'm a geek. The antenna you can have, the 5.5, this is a helium one, so you have to write 915 on them, because the sticker gets, I've learned the hard way, the sticker gets worn off and you don't know what the frequency is, then you got to put a SWR meter on it and figure it out. But anyway, this is an end connector. There's a TNC connector on top of them WB200s. Again, if there was any complaint at all about them things that I would come up with, I would say it's that. I don't know why they were thinking put a TNC on there. Nobody really uses TNC anymore. You're going to need an adapter. I'll put a link for the adapter. Also, the one I used, just make sure you don't handle that high fix station by the antenna. That's all I'm going to tell you. So, I'm losing. I lost half my people watching. I guess they were only here to talk about entropy and not Wingbits. I know Wingbits is doing some stuff behind the scenes, but I'm sworn to secrecy. So I don't want them to people think that all they're waiting on is TGE and just resting on that. They got a lot of stuff going on. So, what else? EarnApp. I've talked a lot about EarnApp. I needed some spending money for Baltimore for my trip. If y'all follow me at all, EarnApp, in the first 4 weeks that I was really hitting it, I took out $200 for my trip last week. My family and I took to New York. And in 4 weeks, I made $200 again. This time, the first time I pulled out EarnApp, it took 5 working days. When a couple of days ago, I claimed EarnApp again, it told me it was going to take 7 working days to get my $200 in my PayPal account. It was there in less than 24 hours. Now, for those who follow me, y'all know I'm running about 9 or 10 different stations with EarnApp. I'm running it on all my Wingbits devices, all my Wingbits DIY devices. I'm running it on my spare computers and old laptops that I have at friends' houses or friends' businesses. They know what I'm doing. I'm not hiding nothing. Hey, we work out different things that, bargaining or whatever you want to call it. Bartering is what somebody called it. I'm helping them out with network stuff. I'm reprogramming computers. One guy wanted to add RAM in his computer at work because the processor was still an i7, but he just wanted to add some RAM when he upgraded Windows. It slowed down. I upgraded the RAM for him. I do bartering, that kind of stuff like that. I'm like, hey, can I put this old computer right here? And I promise you won't see any difference in network. Yeah, I don't care. Put it in there. I split off a VLAN, so it's on a separate network strictly with internet. I know I'm losing y'all. I'm gonna lose more subscribers, but I'm splitting it to make it safe, so it's not on the same network. I show them how this is what your IPs are. This is what my device's IPs are. It's completely separate. And I have about 10 devices, maybe 10, 11 devices running EarnApp, and I made $200 in a couple of weeks. I can even tell y'all right now. We'll check it right now for the first time since I pulled anything out of it. So I have made $27 July 21st. So in 3 days, I've made $27. There you go. So the people who have, hold on a second. People who have referred, I appreciate it. But you can see right now, this is my lifetime earnings. I took $200 out, so I ended up with maybe $1 left and $27. And the best part is this ain't even crypto. You go and you move it to PayPal or Amazon, and there's 1 or 2 other ways you can move it. What the hell? If you have an Android phone, you can even run it on your Android phone. Grass also has a Android app. I did a video on that also with 3x rewards. So these are all free projects y'all can run and make. I'm telling you right now, EarnApp's my best project right now. $200 a month. $200 in 4 weeks. So I have to go to Vegas in October for my side business. Oh, where's my side business link? It usually is right here. For my side business, I have the conference, my training conference for that. That's about once every 3 years, but they pick Vegas for some reason. So I'm probably gonna be saving that money up for Vegas. or I'll be saving it for my hunting trips in November. And then late November, I'm going to Dallas for that minor, I forget what it is, the minor conference, whatever it is in Dallas. So, and that's really just because I want to start going to crypto conferences, putting my name out there, meeting some people face to face. If y'all know of other conferences around the United States, please let me know. You'd be surprised how hard it is to find about these conferences until they already like, hey, I'm going 3 days from now to this minor conference. I'm like, but oh, time for a few. They get horse trade. Yeah, I didn't want to call it horse trade because I think some people don't understand what that term means. But I got a guy out here who does a lot of farming, and he calls it bartering. I guess I've been watching too many country westerns. I took them 2 weeks off of work for my stomach surgery. I thought I'd be like chomping at the bit to get back to work. Hell no, I'm so ready for retirement now. I'm eligible for retirement in 11 months. I'll have my 30 years. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to be retired. Hell no. I want to sit at home and watch westerns and tunes all day. That new cartoon channel I'll tell you all about with all the old stuff from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Johnny Quest and stuff like I was a kid. I'm telling you, I sit at work right now and I'm doing my work. And I look down, I'm like, it's 11 o'clock, man. I could be watching a Rifleman right now on the Westerns channel. Let me see if I can just put it on my TV real quick. That's what it's like when you get my age. Mining Disrupt, thank you. Yes, I have plans on going to Mining Disrupt in November. I have to save up something. I'm having my vacation time. I'm gonna miss majority of the month in November. So my wife has no inclination on wanting to go to Mining Disrupt. But with me going the first week on a hunting trip, then the second week of the month, I'm going to be going to Mining Disrupt. And I can't even know if I'm going to drive it or not. It's only about an 8-hour drive straight interstate. Then I don't have to worry about getting around there because I'll have a vehicle, or I can fly for $100 round trip, $150 round trip. I don't know. So, yeah, Milkman, I'll make sure, in a wooded area, popping around 90 a day, wings high and clear as I can go. As long as it's high and clear as you can go, and especially if that whole station is as high and clear as you can go, and you don't have this long feed line in between, you're maxed out, brother. I put a WB 200 on in Grand Isle, Louisiana, which is I know I've talked a lot about that with y'all. With Wingbits, and that station is getting way better than the DIY station I had there last year. So let me see. Grumpy's covering some of that United States down south. I could tell you. Godfather of the Gulf still got it. Rewards might have went down a little bit. Canada station's flying high. I still think a Canada station up here would look really nice. But with the new tokenomics, it's I don't want to go there. So let's see. It's not going to show my hexes. Grand Isle, Louisiana is an island at the bottom of Louisiana. Both of these stations are 10 feet off the ground. And from here to about 10 to 15 feet to the Gulf, literally the Gulf of Mexico. The only thing blocking it is an oil rig way out. So that's one. This is the WB 200. And then right down the island, this is the DIY. So you see what my rewards are for the DIY. Oh, no, you can't because my head's in the way. How about this? Nope, 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 nope. Let's try this side. All right. So you see what where my stations are for this? My points, I mean. I'm not gonna sit and count the hexes, but is that combined? Let me see. So this is the DIY station. DIY station. You can see I'm missing some up top. And then again, you go back to the WB200 and it's just got a way better. I know some people have had some issues with them WB200s or the MGW310s, but I'm gonna tell you right now, when I got this the first day and I put it outside, I did a video on it. I was astonished on how much better. Once you put a 5.5 dBi antenna on that WB200, how much better it outperformed the DIY. The only station I have that can outperform my DIY is, the only station I have that can outperform my WB200 is my DIY station that has one of the special duper SDRs on it or whatever. AirSpy Minis. That's also at 400 feet. That one rocks. That one rocks. That can go from Louisiana literally into Tennessee, Missouri, Texas, of course, all the way to Florida. It booms. Let me go. I'll see you in Dallas. Come on, man. I'm going to Dallas. You know, hopefully by then, Wingbits will be on TGE. I can be able to afford a little bit of hotel and stuff like that. I'm curious to see if Wingbits is going to have some kind of staking so that people don't just dump all their tokens and stuff at the same time. But, well, boys and girls, I'm going to have to call this in a short night. I mean, we've been at an hour, but my wife and daughter and son are home, and we're going to do a birthday cake for my daughter. Again, her birthday's this weekend, but I won't be here. I'm leaving for Baltimore tomorrow. I'm going to try to do a little short video on Monday of, covering projects. It ain't going to be the normal hour-long one with all the projects, just if there's some projects with news on it, but I'm going to have to be doing it from a laptop. I hate doing it because the quality doesn't come out like this. And then Thursday live is going to be, again, up in the air because normally Motorola takes me out to eat and stuff like that. Takes me and a couple of my, guys that I hang out with that are in charge of other radio systems, and they take us out after, tell us about all the new stuff they got, have a, little party and stuff like that. So, I don't know what condition I'm gonna be into. I don't know what condition I'm gonna be in to be doing a live. I might be here cursing out Demo and Silencio, but I don't know. It'll be good to get away for a little bit, but Baltimore. Oh. We did Denver in the past. That was cool. San Antonio with the Alamo's cool. Actually, we even did Anaheim one time. That was cool. St. Louis one time. That was cool. Baltimore. Baltimore's just like New Orleans. You got to put your wallet in your front pocket so nobody pickpockets you. You got to travel in groups because they'll rob you. I can't wait, man. Can't wait. So, thanks all for watching. Try to keep up with everything going on. I'm going to try to stay active in Discord. I'm going to make sure I go and put my links right now for Milkman. Again, congratulations to Milkman for getting his hole deemed worthy. It only took 5 tries, but hey, man, congratulations. And we'll see what these NFTs do with Entropy as I sit here and cry my tears and tears of my cereal, all that stuff like that, because I didn't buy enough NFTs. I kicked myself in the rear end. But thank you all for watching. See y'all next video.